Welcome. My name's Larry Klayman. As you know, I'm the founder of both Judicial Watch and Freedom Watch, currently the chairman and general counsel of Freedom Watch, which I established after I ran for the U.S. Senate in Florida in 2003 and 2004. There's something that's become very, very apparent. I've been saying this, but it now should become apparent to you. The left, with Biden and Harris as their stooges occupying the White House, is in a total effort to destroy this nation. They've an effort to destroy our health by setting forth misinformation about COVID-19, to destroy our health because they're now requiring mask mandates again, and it is detrimental to be having to breathe CO2 all day long, particularly for kids, to do things like that. They're talking about overriding state governors with mask mandates. With regard to the so-called Delta variant, we don't know what that is. Is this another pandemic? Is it the Spanish flu? We know that years ago, Fauci and his comrades went off and they did gain-of-function research on Spanish flu, the most deadly influenza of the 20th century, killed over 78 million. Is there something else out there like that? And then destroying the economy by spending trillions and trillions of dollars and putting this country into bankruptcy, or giving people money not to work so businesses can't function and they can't do what they're supposed to do? Or is it destroying our legal system with more judges who have disrespect for the Constitution and owe their allegiance to the people that put them on the bench, the special interests they themselves having paid to get there through campaign contributions, and the special interests bundling even more money to get their yes men on the bench, the people that simply care about themselves, not the vision of our founding fathers? And what about our Judeo-Christian values, which are being trashed? Today, we're even hearing, I was listening to NPR over the weekend, God forbid it's an outrage that taxpayers have to pay for that. But of course, Republicans have never done anything about that, even when they were in control. But this push of transgenderism, they're telling kids if they come home and they learn about transgenderism and decide they want to be transgender, that the parents should take them to a psychologist to turn them into transgender. And now we have policies in schools which cater to transgenderism. It was homosexuality, transgenderism, and other things that led to the fall of ancient Rome and ancient Greece, because it became a hedonistic society. There were no limits to what is practiced. And I'm going to attach to this podcast a YouTube broadcast, which apparently was issued by the White House, making fun of our Judeo-Christian heritage. I want you to watch that as well. It's a full court press by the left. It's an inquisition by the left to destroy everything about this country, not just our history with regard to our great founding fathers, whether it's Jefferson, Adams, Franklin, or others, but everything. And then divide everything up, hand it out to people who don't even want to work and who don't deserve the government handouts. Of course, if you're sick and you're infirm, the government should step in as a last resort. But private churches, private synagogues, and others should really do the job, not the government. It was Ronald Reagan who said, "What are the scariest words in the English language?" And the response was, "I'm here from the government, and I'm here to help you." The government is not here to help you. The government is here to take control, to dominate your lives. The beautiful people in Washington, D.C., beautiful. In fact, there's a joke. The only difference between Hollywood and Washington, D.C. is that Washington, D.C. is for ugly people. They're ugly. They're ugly in terms of what's inside of them. And I'm talking about both Democrats and Republicans who play the game, who stuff more money into their pockets, acquire more power. How many emails a day do you get from the Republican Party asking for more money? And they're supposed to be on our side, quote unquote, conservatives, people of faith, and others. To them, it's about jingling the change and power. And then they self-congratulate themselves that, they are great. They are so smart. They're smarter than the rest of us. Well, they're so smart that the evil Democrats have taken over total control of this country in terms of what's been going on. You got to go back and you should read Ayn Rand's book, Atlas Shrugged, or watch the B movies that are out there on the internet, because there's an individual by the name of John Galt who worked in industry, engineering motors, car motors, and he had had enough. He saw what was going on. Same thing that's going on in real life today. Ayn Rand wrote this in 1958 when we thought communism was on the rise. Well, now we know that socialism and communism have totally taken over. What he did was to enlist people throughout society, industrialists, scientists, academia, doctors, others, and they left. They went into hiding, and they waited until the country was destroyed because there was no one to have the engine of state keep the country running. Do we have to, I pose this question, allow this country to be destroyed and then take it back? I hope not. But in today's world, it seems that way. When everything has been taken over by the left, everything, including the media, big tech, corporations, sports leagues, large portions of every aspect of society, bending down to so-called minority interests. You talk about white privilege, there's now minority privilege. I know I can go into court with minority lawyers and they do whatever they want because the judges won't hold them accountable. They're afraid that they'll be called racist, these judges. They don't want to stick their neck out. So if you're a minority, do what you want to do. Flout deposition rules, flout anything you want. That's just one small aspect of it. And then you have situations where now it's reversed. The majority is now sitting at the back of the bus. Well, we're all equal, and we all should be treated the same, and we should all be able to advance on the basis of our ability. Martin Luther King made it clear, we advance on the basis of our character, not the color of our skin. But that's not the way the world is today. So I want you to go out and read my book, It Takes a Revolution. Forget the scandal industry. You can get it at all major booksellers online, including Amazon, that I've sued a number of times. You can get it at freedomwatchusa.org with a contribution of $50 or more. We'll send it to you for free. I have a solution that I hope will work. Taking our legal system back through citizens' grand juries, doing a Third Continental Congress, and getting into a discussion whether we need to declare a new government again, by and for the people. We'll invite people in the old government to join us if they're honest and ethical. We're not going to be violent, but we can go our own way. These people don't run our lives. And we have to decide, because there is no recourse in the courts anymore. The judges are bought and paid for. Whether we're going to engage in civil disobedience, as Henry David Thoreau wrote in his famous book Walden Pond, as Martin Luther King practiced, as Lech Walesa in Poland when they broke the back of the Soviet Union and communism practiced. We, the American people, must do what we think is right under the laws of nature and nature's God, as it says in our Declaration of Independence, not necessarily under man's law. There are some parts of man's law that comport with our Judeo-Christian values, but there are other parts of that law that do not. We now have to do what's right. Jesus did what was right as the Son of God. Moses followed the word of God. They did not follow the laws of the Romans or the Egyptians or others, which were unjust. We, the American people, are at a crossroads. Do you want to see the country destroyed, or do you want to bring it back? I'm playing my little role. Go to freedomwatchusa.org, sign up for our Justice League, support our citizens' grand juries, become part of them, support our Third Continental Congress that we held in Philadelphia on July 5th and 6th, which is continuing with deliberations with very distinguished people. We have to go our own way, and we have to do it under the laws of nature and nature's God, meaning the Father and the Son. The Father and the Son will help us only if we help ourselves. Our founding fathers invoked the divine providence, and against all odds, they formed the greatest nation on earth, which is now, in 5 or 6 months of the Biden-Harris administration, all but been destroyed. Sober up, ladies and gentlemen, fellow patriots, boys and girls. We need to do it for ourselves. Get up off the couch, forget the scandal industry, and bring this country back to life, because right now it's on its back, gasping for air, nearly dead. That's my message for today. Thank you for listening to me, and remember that God will only help us if we help ourselves. I'll be back tomorrow with another YouTube broadcast.